Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope y'all are doing great. Guys, I'm gonna throw a quick video on here. Got in the Dakota the other day, leaving work, and my blower on the AC quit. This is a common thing for the Dakota and Durango. I had this problem about a year and a half ago, and it turned out to be the ignition switch went bad. Even though it was making everything work, cranking, everything was working good, the fan wouldn't work. Somehow the ignition switch went bad. It was actually backfeeding through some stuff that it wasn't supposed to. Got the switch changed out. And now there's another common problem with the Durango and the Dakotas. I'll show you a little bit about that. So like I say, guys, on the way home, I stopped to get some gas and the blower motor quit working. And from the previous experience of hunting things that could be wrong from when I changed out the ignition switch, one of the things that they were talking about was this resistor connection gets hot. The resistor gets hot and melts. Well, sure enough, there you go. You can see it's melted. And there's the resistor. So I went to the parts store and we got us a brand new resistor. And there's the part number for that. And we got us a new connector. And here is the part number for that. Now I've got to cut these wires and splice the new plug-in. Guys, I'm going to use these butt connectors that they heat shrink. You slide them in. That has the solder there in the middle, and you take your little lighter and heat it up. Melts the solder to the wires, melts the outside. It heat shrinks. I bought these off of eBay. That doesn't have a name on them. I'll see if I can find the name and put it in the description. But yeah, these are actually solder. They solder together. Looks like I got just enough to get the job done. I need to order some more. So, all right, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, guys, I got the wires coming from my power source and everything stripped back. Now these, they come pre-stripped, but these things are kind of long. I'm going to go ahead and cut them. I would rather cut and leave the factory harness longer and cut this one a little shorter. Just my preference, because in the future, if I have to go back and do this again, that way I won't be cut, you know, way back up here. So that was just my preference of cutting them as short as possible. You can see where that one's really burnt all the way up. So that's just what I'm going to do. I've got one or two wires that are a little smaller than the others, different gauge, which they gave us some different gauge wire here. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut some of these wires back, and I don't want them quite as long. So we've got to get this end cap off where the rubber grommet is that seals the wires. So we're going to get just underneath here. Oh, there we go. Kind of flew on me there. I'm going to take my little pick and pick the rubber grommet out. Now we can slide our wires in. All right. So the best I can tell, if you'll look, see if I can get it in focus. Can you see the metal in the top here? We're looking at this piece right here. So that's going to go to the top. As if we're plugging it in, it's going to go in just like that. This metal piece to the top. Because that exactly looks like how it is with the factory one. All right, I got a grommet. Of course, don't forget to put your black fastener on the back so it can fasten into. If not, you solder these in and you're not going to be able to get that on there. So don't forget to put that fastener for that grommet that goes here. Using our old pigtail for a guide is going to reassure me that I make sure I get the wires going in the right spot. So I'll just lay this down as my diagram. These are two smaller wires. These are two smaller wires, as you can see on this side. This one's like in between the other four. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a heavier gauge wire for it. Some people use all heavy gauge wire. I don't think it matters. But I just elected to use the smaller gauge for the two smaller ones over here. Just my choice. That's up to you guys. But anyways, lay this down for a diagram. Make sure we got everything lined up, and we'll go from there. I believe, if I remember the directions right, you kind of want to mash these wires kind of into each other. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I used these, but you want to kind of mash them into each other. There we go. Just like that. You need to come back out of the way. Like so. All right, let that cool for just a minute. On these smaller wires, they make some pink ones, but I'm out, so that's why it took a little longer. I'm hoping they'll work. It looks like they'll shrink up pretty good, but they do make, and I'm just out of them in a pink color for the smaller gauge wire, but the blue seemed to have melted up pretty good there. So I think we'll be fine. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of these. So guys, did y'all catch what I did there? After I warned you guys not to leave this off, I left it off. Luckily, I remembered, and this grommet gave enough where I could push it in and out. So yeah, don't make the same mistake I made. Thank goodness I found it on the first one. But yeah, I was able to get it through this grommet. So again, like I tried to remind you guys and didn't do it myself. So there you go, guys. Don't forget that black retainer. All right, guys. So as you'll see, one of these is not like the rest. Well, as I was heating it, that's one of the drawbacks when you're working, you know, kind of difficult. That thing slipped on me, and you can clearly tell that it didn't get soldered in, and it was my last one. So I used a butt connector that heat shrinks. I'd rather have it all soldered, but at least if it's got to be butt connected, it's on a smaller wire. Again, preference. Doesn't mean it's any better or any worse, just preference. All right, now let's get our factory piece plugged on, all the wires where they belong, and get them all locked in and go from there. All right, guys, I got the little blue lock back in the front there. It just slides back in and clips. Your locks go to the bottom, just for aesthetic reasons or just make it look better. I found some old wire loom, so I put on there. That way I won't have bare wires. Just something I wanted to do to make it look a little better. All right. Now we're going to take and put our resistor back in the hole there with the two 8mm screws that holds it in. Guys, if you'll look, that top left-hand corner is kind of squared off, so it'll only go in one way. Okay, guys, something I wasn't expecting. I couldn't get it up in there, and that's when I noticed apparently you got to break these tabs off. You can see where those were broke off of that one. I didn't notice that, so if you go to struggling putting it in, you got to snap these tabs off. Alright, got that on there. Alright, we got it plugged in. I'm gonna get that I'm gonna get this tucked back up under here. Alright, let's see what we have. Alright. We have a blower again. Thank goodness. Have our speeds. Alright. Whew. AC again, guys. Nice cold AC. Whew. It's nice to have that in Florida, I'm telling you guys. Alright guys, that's gonna wind up the blower repair for the Dakota. Wasn't too bad. Replaced that resistor. You can see where it was burnt. Replaced the wire harness, a connector as well. It was burnt as well. All of this was like 40 bucks between the two pieces at O'Reilly's. So anyways, we got our AC back blowing again, and maybe this little trick here help somebody that's in the same boat I was in. So all right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. It's fixing a storm. We're in Florida, get these afternoon showers. So you guys have a good one. Thanks for liking, thanks for sharing, thanks for subscribing. All right guys.